Hi, folks. I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to another one of my political cartoon countdowns for May 1st, 2023. Well, we're into May now, on the way to Decoration Day. Come the end of the month, summer's all around the corner, so try to be as optimistic as we can. And I remember when I was going to school, I always say May was like that. May was like you made it through the year. When you hit May, you it was all downhill. Well, anyway, here goes. I have 6 cartoons today, and starting off with numero seis of the last few weeks. What I did was I kind of used an algorithm of the most popular cartoons based upon impressions on Twitter and the most relevant and recent cartoons. So I kind of put it all together to make a presentation that would be up to date, popular, and would reflect what was going on today around this time, in this where we are right now. So starting off with número 6 de las semanas que pasado, here is number 6. Now this was a retweet, and this was about Clarence Thomas retweet. Given the chairman and Democratic members of the Senate Judiciary Committee has said the statement on Supreme Court ethics principles, Chief Justice John Roberts, that's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, sent to the panel is inadequate. So they requested, after all that stuff that came out with Clarence Thomas, they requested him to the court to kind of monitor, to self-govern itself and come up with a declaration of principles that they would abide by. So they asked the Chief Justice to come up with those principles, and what he came up with was lacking in quality and substance. So that's what they're saying here. So that's what gave this cartoon a new life, in a sense, you see. And the Chief Justice John Roberts has his own issues regarding his wife was like she was like an employment agency for the upscale lawyers, and she was matching up with the best lawyers, with the best law firms, and she made a lot of money doing that. And the thing about some of these law firms go before the Supreme Court, so there could have been a conflict of interest there. So it was that, and you're going to the same guy now, asking him to come up with some principles, So I don't know what he said there. He must say, well, maybe we should be nice to everybody. The Supreme Court should be nice to everybody and take in or this or that, with a bunch of generalities that didn't have any substance to it, and so they said it was inadequate. This was the House, the Senate Judiciary Committee that addressed this to the Chief Justice John Roberts. So here goes. So now here is the cartoon. Basically, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who has accepted free vacations, including upscale resort stays and luxury trips on private jets and super yachts from a conservative Republican billionaire, now says it's because he was advised at the time that he did not have to report it. And that's what they say. He says, I didn't have to. They told me how to report it. I don't know. The below, given from a 2020 documentary, he said, this is going back a few years, that Justice Thomas had made this statement, quote, I prefer the Walmart parking lots to the beaches. So he's down to earth man. He likes the Walmart parking garage, walking around there. Instead of the boardwalk on the beaches, he likes to walk on the Walmart parking lots. That's what he basically said. Okay, there's something normal to me about it. I come from regular stock. Okay, these are his words. Below, thoughts Thomas would like you to think he was thinking, fishing on his billionaire friend's super yacht. So here he is. Here's Clarence Thomas on his super yacht there, his friend's super yacht, fishing there. There he is. There he is. Okay, there he goes, fishing there. There he goes. Maybe he caught a trout or something, So, and he goes like this. This is what he says here. Wish I was back in Georgia, fishing in my old regular leaking dinky boat on that natural resource, the Flint River. It's a little well, I won't go into that. So here he is, Clarence Thomas there. We're thinking about the good old days, before he had a friend who had a $1 million yacht that he could go on. Reminiscing of the good old days when he was on his dinky boat in that Flint River. Okay, there he goes. Let's get him sailing here. Oh, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. There he goes. There's Justice Thomas, reeling in a big one here. Who knows? There he goes, sailing along. Let's have him sailing along here. There he goes. Okay, that was número 6 de las semanas que pasado. And here we have Florida Governor Ron DeSantis coming in at número 5. Here he is. There's Florida. Here's the map of Florida. And he goes, freedom lives here. The American flags. And there's the Cinderella Castle. And there's his prison that he was going to build. There's Mickey Mouse all upset. You see Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse is all crying and he's all upset. Mickey Mouse, poor Mickey, he got him all upset, Mickey Mouse is all upset in front of this prison here. There he is, there's Mickey. And here is Ron DeSantis. Okay, there he is, there's Ron DeSantis here. And there's the prison right next to the Cinderella Castle in Disney World. Okay, and there's the prison here. Okay, and it says here, Florida State Magic Prison. This is Florida State Magic Prison, named after the land of Magic Land of Disney. So they named it the Florida State Magic Prison. Okay, and there's Mickey all upset. You see him go there. There he goes again. He's going crazy, poor Mickey, with his prison right behind him. Okay, and here's the thing. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' vision amid floating the idea, and he floated the idea of building a state prison next door to Disney World. Now, this is a retweet because given DeSantis has again threatened to put up a prison next to Disney, he did it a second time just recently, a few days ago, amid Disney now suing DeSantis over the governor's takeover of its theme park. Now, today I heard that DeSantis, that the board, his board that he appointed to govern, is now suing, is countersuing, basically, is countersuing Disney. So they're each suing each other now. So that's how that's going. Calling it, and what these people, their premise is, Disney's premise is that they're calling this retaliation for DeSantis speaking against. He was speaking against the Don't Say Gay, and also about mentioning anything about gender change or anything like that to students. I was a teacher, and I taught math, and that subject never came up while I was teaching math. That subject never came up. I was teaching equations, algebra, y equals 3x plus 5, and stuff like that, the plotting of a graph. It never came up. I never, if someone would have come into my classroom and said, Mr. Friedman, you cannot speak about that, I'd say, I look at them like they're from outer space. I'm teaching algebra here. So at school, I mean, I don't know what to say. So anyway, here is that, okay? So there, and now, so this is the story here, that they're suing each other. So that DeSantis's board, who he appointed, the board, he threw out the old board, put in his own board. That's democracy. You see, freedom lives here in Florida. That's freedom. You see, he's free to put his own board in. So anyway, so here is the thing here. Now, apparently, in close proximity to the Cinderella Castle's prison at the Magic Kingdom, okay? And then we have the Florida State Magic Prison here, okay? Here it is, right in front of the Cinderella Castle, okay? Didn't say, okay. So it seems that DeSantis advanced his reputation as a culture warrior, willing to autocratically fight political opponents and wield the power of the state government to accomplish political goals. Okay, and then I said already what I had to say about that. Of what it's just the timing of this is right. Just when the Disney spoke out against this idea of this "Don't Say Gay" legislation and put a lid on what a teacher could say or not say or this or that. I mean, when you're teaching school, a lot of times kids come up to you and they say things, and aside from that, after class or something like that. I never had a student say anything about that. But in this world and what's going on, people are more open today, and it could something like that could happen. So a teacher would have to say, go away, keep away from me. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say, could you imagine? It breaks down the spontaneity of a relationship. You could say to the students, you could say, look, speak to your guidance counselor, go to your guidance counselor to discuss that or something like that. Teacher would say, no, I can't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I didn't hear that. Don't me. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. What did you say? I don't hear that. I don't hear. So it's muddying the waters unnecessarily. It's like a law in search of a criminal. I mean, I never heard. I mean, or something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't. It's a mystery. That's what it is. It's a mystery where this comes from and how all these people could get into this stuff. But it's a mystery. That's what it is. It's a mystery. All right, here it is. And there's Mickey Mouse. He's all upset about this, about the magic prison behind him. And there's the Cinderella Castle there. And there we got DeSantis with the American flags. And there it is. State of Florida, freedom lives here. Okay. Oh, and another thing, I don't like to get on to anybody, but Governor DeSantis is now going around, to all these countries. He went to Israel to represent himself as a representative of the American people, trying to create a presidential platform there. I have to give him credit for one thing. I have to give DeSantis credit for one thing. He didn't go to Ukraine, because after what he said about Ukraine, he was smart enough not to go there. So you got to give DeSantis credit. He thought that one through. He thought through not to go to Ukraine on his trip abroad. He thought that very well through. So we give him credit for that. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Saying that he said Ukraine was not a very significant, something to the effect that Ukraine was not very significant in regard to the United States. Was not a significant endeavor. Helping Ukraine was not a significant endeavor for the United States. He said something like that. So he didn't go there. There it is. So he used again. I'll say it. He used his brain on that one. Okay, here we go. Here he is, Cinderella Castle, and the state prison there. And Mickey Mouse is so damn upset about this prison. You see, there he goes. All right, there it is. Now we have here President Joe Biden here. Just the other night, or Saturday night. Okay, this was at the former Vice President Mike Pence watching President Joe Biden at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay, here he is. He had his black necktie on there. There he is. Okay, you see him there? Okay. And here is Pence watching this, and he's looking up to him. He's looking up there. There's former Vice President Mike Pence looking up on the screen at President Joe Biden there. Okay, there, got that. Okay, let's get that in good. All right, here we got that. All right. Yeah, I want to get that in real good for you. Okay. Now, okay, during the segment where Biden joked about not taking questions at press conferences, he said, he doesn't take questions at press conferences. Given Pence just testified as part of an investigation into alleged efforts by former President Donald Trump to overturn his defeat in the 2020 election. Testifying after a lengthy court battle that concluded with Pence being ordered to testify by a judge's ruling. He finally was saying that it's unconstitutional, and he took out this law that as part with the saying that in his capacity on that day he was acting as part of the Congress, the search, the speak and debate clause, something to do with that speech and debate clause, that prohibits him from talking about anything when he's part of Congress. So he can't be part of two parts. He's part of the executive as a vice president, and he can't be both. And he is the vice president, which is the executive branch. So the judge did a compromise and said, well, look, you can't speak about anything in your duties on that day. We won't question anything about your duties. We don't say we won't question you, but you don't have to answer those questions relative to anything you were doing in performance of your position as a head of the what was going on there with Congress in terms of authorizing the votes in the Electoral College. It was like it was more like a perfunctory thing he was doing. It was a ceremonial thing he was doing, really, but it was required by the Constitution, which gave him no powers to rule out anything. He had no power. It was just a perfunctory duty for him to do what he was doing, a perfunctory duty. So that's throwing a big word there. So here it is. Here he is. Okay, so here he is watching this. You see? So the court ruled basically that he had to testify, and then that concluded with Pence being ordered to testify by a judge. And given before the order, prior to that, Pence declared the Biden Justice, he called the Justice Department the Biden Justice Department, because he felt that he was being unfairly asked to testify and categorizing his subpoena he got to testify is unconstitutional. Because of the speech and debate clause, it violates the speech and debate clause. So they carved out the judge there. The federal judge carved out for him an area where he didn't have to answer questions relative to what he was doing in performance of his duty on that day. Okay, so now I repeat myself a little bit there, but I want to make that point clear. Okay, so here we go. So here is President Biden now up on the dais there. There he is, with his hands up, smiling. There he goes, and he says, "This is like my press conferences where I'll talk for 10 minutes, take 0 questions, and then cheerfully walk away." Okay, that's what he said, word for word. And here's Pence on the bottom here. Here's Pence looking up. Yeah, and this is what he says. He says, "He won't be cheerfully walking away when I beat him in 24. I'll say this about President Trump. He answered all questions on Twitter when he was president. He answered a lot of stuff on Twitter." That's what he's saying here. That was his retort to listening to Biden there, President Biden. Okay, that's one more. Here we got President Joe Biden, Pence. There. Okay. Now, here we have Tucker Carlson. Okay. Now, Tucker Carlson had gotten a lot of offers since he was fired from Fox News. He's gotten offers from the state-run Russian station to go work for them. So Tucker Carlson's now saying, he said the other day, I'll be seeing you soon. So maybe there'll be transmission here. Now this is a dream that he had. Okay, I don't want to get in any kind of trouble. So I'm going to say that I wrote this to be a dream that Tucker Carlson had, that he got a great job with a Russian the state-run Russian TV station. You know, so it's a dream. Okay, this is a dream. Okay, he's got his red bow tie on there that he took out of his closet before he came to make sure that he was looking good for Russian TV there with the red bow tie, and there's the Russian flag in the background. Okay, and there's the map. Okay, there you see the whole thing here with Russia. There he is reporting from Moscow. In his dream, he's reporting from Moscow. See? And he goes, Tucker Carlson asked from Fox News, fantastic dream of hosting a Russian state TV show titled Tucker Carlson Tonight. It used to be Tucker Carlson Tonight when it's Fox. Now it's Tucker Carlson Tonight from Moscow. Given a prominent anchor on Russian state TV has made Carlson an offer. We'll happily offer you, this is word for word, I read this, we'll happily offer you a job if you wish to carry on as presenter or host. And Russian media has used clips from his Fox News show to defend Russia in its war on Ukraine. E.g., last August, Carlson scoffed at claims Russia was losing the war, saying, by any actual reality, this is what Tucker reportedly said, based measure, Vladimir Putin is not losing the war in Ukraine, he's winning the war in Ukraine. Okay, based on actual reality, a reality-based measure shows that Vladimir Putin is winning the war in Ukraine. Below Carlson's dream, opening lines to his new Russian state TV show. Okay, Tucker Carlson Tonight from Moscow. There he is, Tucker Carlson Tonight from Moscow. There he is reporting. There he is. Okay. Okay. Thank you or spasiba. That's a Russian word I learned. Spasiba means thank you in Russian. So this is how it would be pronounced. Spasiba. Okay. That's the Russian pronunciation for thank you. Okay. So he goes, thank you or spasiba, Moscow. I hope President Putin likes this red bow tie I searched my closet for. My first guests are President Xi Jinping of China and President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine. They both spoke on the telephone the other day. So he's going to bring them together in person after a few days ago, they spoke on the telephone to each other. So he's going to bring them in here in person for his first show from Moscow. In the dream, okay? And he's saying here, hope Z in person now, can convince Zelensky on the wisdom of his peace plan. Okay, so the Chinese have President Xi has proposed a peace plan where everything stops and is frozen in time, and everybody stays on their own land, and there's no fighting. The Russians stay on the land they have, and have a chance to build up their forces, and everything like that. While the debate goes on, how much land they're going to take from Ukraine, and the Ukrainians obviously wouldn't want no part of that. So that was the fundamental of the proposed peace plan, to freeze everything. Let's freeze everything as it is right now. So if it does, and they want to even take back Crimea. The Ukrainians want back what was there originally before the Russians invaded Crimea. So they want to go back. They want to go back to the way it had been before any invasions took place. Okay, so there he is. There's Tucker with his red bow tie there, red American flag, and there is the whole map of the region here. Okay, he's in Russia here, and there is the whole map of the region. You can see Moscow, where he's reporting from. Okay, so I guess he'll be saying, I'll see you again, folks, real soon there. See you folks real soon when I vacation in America. Okay. It's a dream. Okay. Now, here we have Defense Secretary Lord Austin, probable call with his Russian counterpart, Minister Shoigu, in the wake of Russian aircraft first dumping fuel on and then colliding with a U.S. Mk Reaper drone's propeller. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and there have been more incidents since then. Just the other day, there were very, very close calls that the Russians are not abiding by the regular, respectful acknowledgement of planes in terms of flying their planes. They're doing all kinds of acrobatics, dangerous acrobatics in the air. They're not firing on them, but they're doing dangerous acrobatics in terms of trying to intimidate the American pilots, and they're flying in areas where they have a right to, the American pilots. So this has been going on, and it's been going on for a long time, I assume, and still going on. So I thought this cartoon was very relevant to what's going on today, especially. Okay, colliding with the U.S. Reaper drone's propeller, and as a result, forcing the U.S. to bring the drone down in international waters in the Black Sea. Well, we haven't heard if the Russians got that drone yet. The drone just went down to the deep blue yonder. I don't know if nobody's gonna find that for that's gonna, that's below, it's probably below the Titanic somewhere. So anyway, here it is. So there they are, and having this video conversation. Okay, so here goes, and here goes Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Here he goes speaking with Shoigu here, the Defense Secretary, Minister Shoigu. So here we go. Here's numero, here is the first, here goes how the dialogue might have gone as I wrote it. Okay, this actually happened, and I'm writing my own dialogue to this. Minister Shoigu, this incident is part of a pattern of aggressive, risky, and unsafe actions by your pilots. Okay, and it's continuing on and on. I'm going to add that on right now, because this is what just recently happened. And then Shoigu says this. Here goes Shoigu. He's coming back, retorting back to him, and he's saying, Defense Secretary Austin, this incident was caused by U.S. moves into airspace that disrespected Russia's flight restrictions, which Russia established for a certain area. That due to the special operation there, special operation is what they call the Ukraine invasion of Ukraine. It was called a special operation. It was never called a war on Ukraine. It was called a special operation on Ukraine. Okay, I guess you take that to another level and say to remove the Nazis who they theorized are running the place, were led by a Jewish president. So there you go. Okay, so that's for a certain area. That due to the special operation there to protect against foreign intelligence gathering. So the Russians on their own, even though this is international airspace, they declared this part of an infringement on them because it interferes with their special operations on Ukraine, because they seriously can gather intelligence of what's going on there. So the Americans have, I don't know what happened there, but they talked about scaling down and moving farther away and not going so close because they don't want to provoke any more Russian incidents. So anyway, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so here we have now number 3, we have Lloyd Austin, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, retorting back to Shoigu. Minister Shoigu, U.S. aircraft will and has the right to continue to fly in all international airspace. That's international law, you see? And then Shoigu retorts back. This is the punchline here. Shoigu retorts back like this. Number 4, he retorts back like this. That's international woke law, using the term woke. They picked up on using our, they're picking up on our language there. And, among those people who expound on woke this, woke that, so they're picking it up and turning around, using it against us. That the proper Russian propaganda is turning around, using that stuff on us, our own propaganda from people who are the MAGA-rightists and so forth, and they're turning around, grabbing that stuff, and that's what's going on here. So he says that's international woke law, and this is in Russian here. I wrote this in Russian here. Okay, this is in Russian, and then he goes. This is in Russian here, and he says that in Russian, and or F it, F dot it. Okay, you know what that means. So he said that in Russian, So that's international woke law, or F it. So the fact is that we're trying to say that it's international law that gives them us the right to fly our planes where we can fly them. He's saying that's woke law. You have to abide by the Russian position, which is it interferes with their special operation in Ukraine by us getting intelligence, which is true. We do get intelligence on what they're doing. So So there you have it. So now I guess that what last I heard was that the Americans have decided that they're not going to fly their drones so close to gather intelligence. Okay, they're going to fly further out to sea so they can get intelligence on fishing boats. You know, who's catching fishing boats, what kind of fish they're catching, and stuff like that. You know, that's a joke. Okay, so there you have it. There. Okay, there's Lloyd Austin here. Okay, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, and here's Shoigu. Okay. 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 Numero uno está aquí. Numero uno. This was number one by far for the last, I'd say, last 4 or 5 weeks. Number one. Wanted. You know, like they used to put up posters, wanted posters. So they put up a poster, wanted. 3 Republican House committees. Alvin the Dangerous, wanted here for indicting President Trump. The Manhattan District Attorney. You see? There it is. There's the Capitol. And they put this up in front of the Capitol. And here we have here. Okay. There's Jim Jordan with yellow tie there. And we'll get to the other two in a minute. Okay. There. Okay. Republicans circle the wagons against New York DA Alvin Bragg, who potentially could indict former President Donald Trump in the Stormy Daniels alleged hush money case, which he did do. Amid Republican Senator Rand Paul tweeting, if Trump is indicted, Bragg should be put in jail. Yeah, Rand Paul went as far to say that Bragg should be put in jail. The district attorney in Manhattan should be put in jail. That's Rand Paul. And 3 of the below House Republican Committee Chairman, Representative James Comer. So here we have James Comer. Here's James Comer right here. There's James Comer, thumbs up. James Comer. Okay. 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 And then we have Representative Brian Steele. Here's Brian Steele. Okay, there he is, right long. There's a red tie there. There's Brian Steele. Okay. And Jim Jordan, James Comer, Brian Steele, and Representative Jim Jordan sending a letter to Bragg calling for his testimony. And they say they wanted his testimony and criticizing his investigation into Trump as an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority. Okay, so I might have done this one before. Now I'm thinking back, but it's relevant. It's still so relevant to today. What's going on that I decided to include it again, because I think I did put this one, my other one there. I might have done that, and I think it's very relevant here. Okay, the point here that the thing is, I did some reading on Bragg, on his positions, and I don't agree with some of his things that he expressed about, like people who petty theft. If you steal from things, it's a crime of poverty, and they shouldn't be prosecuted for stealing. It's just like saying that Jesse James, who was a big bank robber, he was a poor man, so he shouldn't be prosecuted for robbing banks because he was a poor man, and then there's Bonnie and Clyde, who shouldn't have been prosecuted. They were machine gunned down. We saw that movie, Bonnie and Clyde, and they were robbing banks left and right. And they were poor people, they shouldn't be prosecuted. So he's saying crimes of poverty. So how do you draw the line? If you make under $20,000, let's say under $15,000, under $10,000 a year, and you steal you steal a Hershey bar from a Walmart or something like that, then it's a crime of poverty. But if you make if you make $100,000 a year, and you're just in the mood, you don't want to pay the money, and you like the Hershey bar and you eat it, and then you say, oh, the hell with it, I ain't going to pay for this, I already ate it, and what the hell, and then you walk out and you get caught, then you go to jail. But if you made $100,000, you got to go to jail. But if you make $10,000, you're a poor man, and that Snickers bar or Milky Way or Hershey bar, whatever it was, that was your meal for the whole day. You get your excuse from the crime. You can't have a system like that. You know, and the fact of the matter is that these petty crimes hurt the poor people because prices go up, because some stores even had to close because they were getting robbed so much by shoplifting that they had to, some raised their prices for that, and some even had to close down because of the fact they were losing so much money from shoplifting. And so other stores just raised the prices, and that hurts the poor. So the poor robbing stuff hurts the poor. And you can't have a society like that, or where you don't have a democracy where everybody is under the law, the same thing. You know, you can't, there's no crime of poverty. Again, I'll say it's like Jesse James and Bonnie and Clyde. They weren't rich people. You know, I mean, they robbed banks. So anyway, enough said about that. So I don't agree with Bragg on everything, but the point of the matter is it was the jury who indicted Trump. The jury, not Bragg. Bragg brought it forth to the jury, and the jury in the American system that indicted Trump, former President Trump. So blaming Bragg is like a little kid blaming his dog for oh no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to make any analogies on that. There's no analogy for that because it's wrong, plain wrong to blame because he's still the district attorney from Manhattan, and you have to respect the position. You may not agree on everything that he says, but to go ahead and to condemn him and say he should be put in jail for doing his job, and then the jury backed him up, and the jury was the one who indicted him, is wrong. And it's childish. It's childish and wrong. So anyway, that's all I have to say about this. So there's Bragg up there, and there they are here. Okay. All right, folks. I try to be diplomatic and objective when I present you stuff. And so I hope I did that today. And I wish you all the best of luck to you. God bless you, and God bless America. And I'll see you next time. Take care, folks. Bye.